What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. I got a little bit of extra for you. It is June 16th, 2022. I am JD from New York, as always, coming to you from the OTS venue. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on your Thursday afternoons, wherever you may be. Randy Orton could be out the rest of the year with a back injury. Sasha Banks, is she released? Is she not released? Everybody talking about Sasha Banks. Finally, the woman could be headed out of the WWE. We're going to talk about all of this today right here on OTS Extra. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 1,000 likes minimum on today's OTS Extra. Go check out all the other videos that you might have missed on the channel. Everything you need is there on the home page of the channel. Monday Night Raw, AEW Dynamite, extras on Jeff Hardy. You name it, man. Get caught up with Off the Scripts. And make sure you guys follow me on social media at JD from NY206 on Twitter and Instagram, and now on TikTok. So make sure you guys go find me on TikTok as well, as I've been uploading clips of the podcast on there for more traction, and maybe a new listener gets a whiff of what we're creating over here. WWE reportedly fears Randy Orton could be out of action for the rest of 2022. Randy Orton has been working through a back injury for a while. I thought it was all a work and a storyline. Apparently, it's legit. Working through a back injury for a while now, and the decision was made a few weeks ago to pull him off television to allow him to heal up. Fightful Select is reporting this afternoon that it got to a point where he actually had work done to improve his condition before the tag team title unification match on the May 20th edition of Friday Night SmackDown, although it's unclear the extent of the work to his back that was actually done. The report stated things have gotten progressively worse, and WWE fears that Orton will be forced to undergo surgery. If that happens, then he will likely be out of action for the rest of the year, and SummerSlam's match with Reigns will not be taking place. It's unclear what the exact injury is. SummerSlam, like I just mentioned, Orton was factored into creative plans to wrestle Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, and Orton also appears on an internal injury report for the company. If Orton does get surgery, then the planned match obviously would be nixed with Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, and that would make Orton and Cody Rhodes out with serious injuries. That is a huge, devastating blow to WWE's roster right now that's in the middle of a brand split that they're not really adhering to. Orton's tag team partner, Riddle, is facing Roman Reigns, as you guys know, on Friday night for both the WWE and the Universal Championships. That's on SmackDown. You know, I want to sit here and tell you I told you so, man, but you guys know what the deal is already. You know, I'm actually spent. I'm actually very tired of talking about the same thing. And, you know, there are still people out there that want to be argumentative when it comes to the things that I say on this channel, and WWE every single week blatantly ignores the fucking problems that are staring them right in the face. This is WWE's fault. This isn't Randy Orton's fault. This isn't Matt Riddle's fault. This isn't our fault. It's not the fans' fault. It's WWE's fault. They put all their eggs into the bloodline basket. They put all their eggs into the Roman Reigns basket. They had such high aspirations to make Roman Reigns the greatest of all time. This title run is going to be the most monumental title run of all time. It's not the way I look at it now. Once upon a time, I did look at it that way. Roman Reigns' body of work speaks for itself. His body of work during this entire reign was fucking fantastic. The matches he had and the quality of matches he had and the quality of the story that he was telling was fucking fantastic. WWE did nothing with everybody that they ultimately fed to him, but the matches he had, it was exactly what we all had hoped for when Roman Reigns aligned with Paul Heyman and turned heel. Everything with the bloodline getting together and the bloodline being formed and Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso getting involved, it was brilliant. It was fucking great. And it came in the middle of the pandemic where we needed just story, and it was right there, man. We all felt it, even without the presence of an audience. That is a very difficult thing to do. So yes, Roman Reigns and his body of work has been absolutely stellar. There's nothing that this man has done previously that would ever top what he's done in the last 2 years. But the thing is, you're looking at this title reign now in 2022, minus the match with Seth Rollins, and that was something that came out of thin air. Wasn't really a story behind that. They just did it because they had nobody else for Roman Reigns. But you look at everything that's going on with Reigns right now, and I'm looking at a huge blemish on Roman Reigns' title run, where everything was going great, and you could really consider it one of the greatest runs of all time. I'm looking at this second half of the run, and with WWE's creative mishaps as it comes to Roman Reigns, giving him both world championships, giving him a reduced schedule even lighter than Brock Lesnar, I can't really sit here and utter the same sentiments about Roman Reigns' second half as I did the first half. Everybody that looks at Roman Reigns' title run is going to think about what you are currently seeing now and forget everything that he's done in the first half. And I don't think that's right. WWE seemingly is making everything feel like a complete waste of time. And obviously the negatives are going to outweigh the positives. The negatives are going to outshine the positives. And people are going to focus on the negative more so than the good Roman Reigns has done. So they are fucking up major. I wish I could tell you what the easy solution is. And the brand split is one of them. We don't need 2 world championships. We don't need 2 mid-card championships. We don't need 2 women's championships. We don't need 2 tag team championships. One roster. And everything would be a lot better presented at the end of the day than it right now sits. What does WWE do here? If Orton is out and Cody Rhodes is out, who does Roman Reigns have left on Friday night? Nobody. Nobody but Drew, and we're not getting that match till September, Labor Day weekend. What does WWE do here? Number one, they could have Matt Riddle lose on Friday, inevitably lose. He will lose on Friday night, and take this and book it in a way where we get a rematch at SummerSlam just for the sake of getting Roman Reigns on the SummerSlam card in a major title match. If it can't be against Orton, it could be against Orton's tag team partner. I don't want to see it. If he's going to lose clean, then I don't really care to see Matt Riddle in another match against Roman Reigns that inevitably he will lose. I don't think 2 losses is going to look good on Matt Riddle, where 1, it's not going to look bad because he's going to be put over major in a losing effort. That is something they can do. I don't recommend it. It doesn't make sense. WWE right now, going into SummerSlam, after this Money in the Bank pay-per-view and after this match with Riddle, Roman Reigns needs to go and make his home on Monday night. I don't know if they are going to do that, but Roman Reigns needs to make his home on Monday Night's Raw. There are 2 people right now that WWE could use to help facilitate this Roman Reigns storyline and get him through SummerSlam and onto the Clash at the Castle show in a match against Drew McIntyre. Bobby Lashley, he's already teased he wants the WWE Championship match, but right now he's feuding with Austin Theory. I have to see and wait what happens there. It may be a one-off going into Money in the Bank, and then they move Theory onto John Cena, and then Bobby Lashley is free to do whatever he wants. Bobby Lashley versus Roman Reigns could be a SummerSlam match if they want to do it. Do I care about it? No, because it's inevitably going to mean Bobby Lashley is going to fall to Roman Reigns. That's one option. Or how about another option in AJ Styles? I think that's a great option. We need to start rehabilitating AJ Styles as well. Bobby Lashley looks okay, even coming out of a feud with Omos. AJ Styles right now is in the middle of nothing. We could put AJ Styles and Roman Reigns at SummerSlam for a placeholder main event. Edge is another one, but he's probably going to come back and feud with the remaining members of Judgment Day. Edge is another perennial title contender that I'd love to see go after the title. As long as WWE has competition on Monday Night Raw, Reigns should be there. On SmackDown, he has nobody but Drew McIntyre. So Bobby Lashley or AJ Styles right now, just looking at that roster ahead, those are the 2 guys that probably make the most sense for a match at SummerSlam if Randy Orton is injured with Roman Reigns. And then we get Roman Reigns to clash at the Castle. This is where things really need to be put into action. Drew McIntyre, and I said this all week, Drew McIntyre's not beating Roman Reigns for both championships. I think that is the wrong way to go about it. Why would Roman Reigns want to defend both championships when he won both championships in 2 separate matches? Roman Reigns would be a fucking stupid champion if he puts both championships on the line. No matter how many times you want to hear from people that they're unified, they're not. If they were unified, you'd have 1 championship. Right now, WWE has Roman Reigns carrying around both the WWE and the Universal Championship. around his shoulders. Why? Because they don't have any intention of making one championship, and they have every intention of putting the WWE title back on Monday night. So right accordingly, Roman Reigns should lose the Universal Championship to Drew McIntyre in Cardiff, Wales. At that point, we got Money in the Bank. It would have already been passed. Seth Rollins wins Money in the Bank. He cashes in on Roman Reigns at some point after he loses. It may be in the same night, depending on the show, seeing how big that show is going to be. Roman Reigns could realistically lose both championships in the same night to Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins in a callback to what happened at WrestleMania 31, where he did it with Lesnar and Reigns by pinning Reigns. We could see that. I would not be opposed to that right now because WWE is clearly running out of options. My main concern is, and I'm being selfish when I say this, Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes is the way to go. I don't think we're getting there. With all of these mounting problems day after day, week after week, it's seemingly looking like Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes may not happen for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. I'm selfish because I think that's the best and most epic way for Cody to win the WWE Championship. That's the match I want to see. I'm being selfish when I say that's the direction they should go in, but like I said, it may not end up happening. So Drew McIntyre wins the Universal Championship. Seth Rollins cashes in his Money in the Bank, which I think he's the right winner this year. Cashes in his Money in the Bank on Roman Reigns, effectively taking the title back to Monday Night Raw. And now we have Roman Reigns. He can go part-time whenever the fuck he wants. He doesn't have to hold the championships hostage. Drew McIntyre will be a full-time champion on Friday night. Seth Rollins will be a full-time champion on Monday. And I like him as champion right now if this is the option we have to go with, because him himself is doing the best body of work of his career as a solo act. This is the best work he's ever done since being away from the Shield. It puts him not on the level of Roman Reigns, but honestly, if you want to talk about it, Seth Rollins is right underneath Roman Reigns as far as body of work is concerned. They are both operating at fucking incredible levels right now. So yes, he should be rewarded with the WWE Championship, and he should hold that title until Cody Rhodes comes back. McIntyre, full-time champion on Friday. Seth Rollins, full-time champion on Monday. We get the championships back on their respective brands. We can go about a brand split the way that we should, right? If they're not going to end the brand split, I want to adhere to the brand split rules, and everything will be right in the WWE as far as the world championships are concerned. Rollins can hold that championship till Cody Rhodes comes back. We get Cody versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. Cody beats Seth for the fourth time, and he wins the WWE Championship that his father never won. That's the way we are looking at things play out. But WWE needs to move Roman Reigns back to Monday Night Raw. That's where it needs to be, where Roman Reigns needs to be. Friday Night SmackDown has nothing more for Roman Reigns, so why is he over there? The only reason why he would be over there is because Fox doesn't have a fucking clue on what the WWE needs for their brands, Friday night or Monday night, and they're being selfish, hoarding Roman Reigns all to themselves. Oh, NBC Universal, they don't need him. They shouldn't have somebody like Roman Reigns. We want brand exclusivity. Fuck that shit, man. Injuries mounting the way that they are, all that shit gets thrown out the fucking window, man. And it's about time you start playing ball and sharing like good little fucking suits and ties. That's what it needs to be. Now, Walter, he's the guy that's going to be challenging Drew McIntyre, so you at least got one over there, or Gunther. You at least got one over there for Drew McIntyre and his title run. It's more than enough to get them through the next brand split draft, and then we can reset all over again and start bringing up some NXT talent. What WWE should have done, and this would have saved them a ton of headache, and it would have really put them in the business of making new stars. What they really should have done is called up Braun Breaker after he lost to Dolph Ziggler, but they fucking fumbled that, and they went back and forth on it. They were very hesitant on it. As soon as he lost that title to Dolph Ziggler, Stand and Deliver, that man should have been called up on that Monday following WrestleMania weekend. They should have been building him up and building him up and building him up to a point where if something like this was going to be a thing, and Randy Orton was already suffering from back injury, the more you put Randy Orton out there, it was only going to get worse, and now you're looking at a fucking brand on Monday without Cody and without Randy Orton. You could have built Braun Breaker up as the next guy in line to take on Roman Reigns and make a new star fucking unbelievable at SummerSlam with him taking down Roman Reigns for one of the championships at SummerSlam. doing what you should have already been doing or in the process of doing, and that's building new stars. No, but they fumbled that, and they're not in the business to make new stars. They're only in the business to have fucking creative mishaps like we see now. WWE, the answer is very simple. You may be looking at a very daunting challenge, but there is light at the end of this tunnel. It is not that difficult to really get yourself out of, and hopefully they do the right thing, which is saying a lot with these fucking people. It's not that difficult to get out of this sticky situation. Randy Orton could be out for the rest of 2022. Sasha Banks. The news on Sasha Banks hit like a fucking tornado on social media last night. We broke the news. Raj actually broke the news of Wrestling Inc. Raj Giri of Wrestling Inc. broke the news. We got wind of it live during the AEW Dynamite post show. We were all shocked. So we were all just waiting for news to come in. Nothing eventually came in but this tweet from Raj Giri. He says, and I quote, "I'm hearing Sasha Banks has been released. I don't know if it's her requesting it or not, or if it's on WWE's end." End quote. So WWE right now hasn't said a word about Sasha Banks. Raj is reporting that Sasha Banks has been released. Giri has had a good track record as far as reports and exclusives, and he's gotten things wrong here and there, but never on this level, never of this magnitude. And I know a lot of people, he said he was getting death threats last night. He was at one of the, I think he was at the NHL Finals game last night. He was getting death threats over this from the Sasha fucking stands on social media. Death threats over a fucking report. I don't understand that. I don't think Raj, and I said this to him personally in the tweet, that he mentioned that he was getting death threats. And I don't think Raj would put this out there unless he knew for sure, because he knows he's not a fucking idiot. He knows his career would be fucking ruined after that. Nobody's going to want to hear from him as far as exclusives go, and his reputation would be tarnished. So I don't think Raj would put that out there unless he has some solid fucking information about it really being legit. So I don't think he would report this unless he had pertinent information about it and solid sources to back him up. Banks and Naomi, as you guys know, walked out of WWE several weeks ago due to creative differences. At this point, there is no word on Naomi's status with the company, but it is believed that her contract is up in a few weeks. Banks signed with the company in 2012, re-upped in 2019. She didn't sign a 5-year deal. She just re-upped a 3-year deal. The rumor was that we could see Sasha Banks become a free agent this year as well, along with Naomi. If she is released, that means she is free to wrestle elsewhere. Obviously, if she's released before her contract, that means a 90-day clause is going to be attached to it. But after the 90 days, if this woman wants to continue to wrestle, AEW would be the prime spot to land Mercedes. SAP updated this at 1:30 in the morning this morning. Says that WWE reps have not shut down the claim that Banks has been released, but they haven't confirmed it either. They haven't been informed. So if it has happened, it's been very, very secretive. There has been a claim that Fightful wasn't able to verify that Banks' lawyers were involved, and there had been eyes on a physical WWE release. WWE also sent an urgent email out this week to live event venues to remove Banks from advertising for their events. And obviously, this could be because of her release, or it could be because of her suspension. But neither one of those reasons were confirmed by any of the sources and by Fightful. Sasha Banks has not been released. Until WWE says so, with something of this magnitude, do not believe it until WWE has put out the tweets that Sasha Banks, Mercedes Renato, has been given her release, has been requested by Sasha Banks, and they granted her release. We wish her best in her future endeavors. Do not believe SAP. Do not believe Raj. Do not believe anything that is a tweet, because all I seen was Raj's tweet, and I don't want to doubt Raj, because, again, I don't think he would put that out there if it was bullshit. Do not run with a tweet and claim it as news. Don't. It seems like Raj put out something, and everybody in the community has been running with it as news. Then SAP tweeted Snoop Dogg coming off desperate, getting even deeper into the situation when he himself has no fucking clue about anything. Fightful even put on their website, Sasha Banks has been released. It's still up there. Sasha Banks has not been released. It's not confirmed by any outlet. Unless it's by WWE, it is not a news story yet. You don't know anything. Do I hope she's released? Abso-fucking-lutely. I can't wait for the news to break. Why? Because WWE needs Sasha Banks. Mercedes does not need WWE. And I think she knows that at this stage of her career. She doesn't need them. She can go anywhere she wants and be a megastar. She is a megastar. If she wants to go to Hollywood, she'll go to Hollywood and fucking kill it, man. She's a beautiful fucking woman. She wants to go wrestle, she can go wrestle wherever she wants. She could start a whole new revolution under Tony Khan and AEW. You don't think she wants that? You don't think she has a problem with being held back and being used as a stepping stone when she is the fucking best in that entire company? Come on, man. She's not even 30 years old, and you're using her as a fucking stepping stone for Ronda Rousey and everybody else. And then the shit with the tag team titles. Come on, man. The blatant disrespect. Still haven't heard anybody report about Naomi maybe being the one to walk out and Sasha Banks following her. But everybody's like, oh, Sasha Banks walked out, Naomi followed, and it's nothing more than a Sasha Banks smear campaign. Not one. Not one. All of this shit lined up, and now we are where we are. Who's to say Sasha Banks and Naomi didn't catch a wind of what was going on with the internal fucking womanizing in WWE? Who's to say they didn't have a fucking whiff of what was going on with Vince McMahon? They already knew the fucking people Bruce Pritchard and John Laurinaitis are. Why the fuck do they want to be there when the people who are actively running the company are absolutely against the women's revolution and women's wrestling in general, and all they do is look at women as eye candy and fucking toys, like John Laurinaitis? WWE right now has not said anything about Sasha Banks. WWE will confirm, or they won't say anything at all, that everybody's running with Raj's tweet as this legit fucking news, man. This is not journalism. This is merely fucking desperate fucking accounts, desperate YouTube channels, seeking clicks and likes and views and all this other shit because you're so fucking desperate for whatever comes your way. And people like Sap and everybody else getting involved. Unless it's confirmed by WWE, I don't even know why this is a talking point anymore. Seriously. Sasha Banks, does she leave WWE? I certainly fucking hope so. If she's a free agent, I hope she walks. If WWE's gonna grant her a release if she requested it, I hope she fucking gets it granted. I don't want to see her there anymore. There's nothing more for her to do. Nothing. Nothing more for her to do. If Sasha Banks ends up being released, WWE's women's division is in fucking trouble, and nothing will ever be the same again. She was the start of the revolution. She is the revolution. She's gonna take that revolution somewhere else if this news ends up being fucking legit and is confirmed. And WWE's women's division will suffer. Why? Because Sasha Banks was the only fucking one, with Bayley, the only one that cared about making the division better. Everybody else that is there now, they only care about themselves. Guys, I'm getting out of here. Any more I hear about Sasha Banks, I will let you guys know immediately. If Sasha Banks is released, we're going live immediately. So make sure you guys keep an eye and an ear on the YouTube channel. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. Let me know what you think about Randy Orton. Let me know what you think about Sasha Banks down in the comment section below. Comment section is yours. And again, follow me on social media for all the latest updates at JD from NY206. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more breaking news as it happens right here on Off the Script. I'm JD from New York. I'll see you guys on Friday live for SmackDown. If Sasha Banks is released, you can expect a live stream whenever it happens, man. So make sure, like I said, you follow me on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.